In 48 AD, on the outskirts of Rome, a tailor and his wife prepared to go for a stroll in the nearby forest. The tailor, Androcles, by name, had been born and raised in Athens, but came to the capital of the empire seeking his fortune. First as a merchant, then, when that ventured soured, as a tailor. T's business, while not netting him the pretty penny he hoped for, gave him enough income that he was able to purchase a villa and marry his wife Lucretia. They lived together happily for several years, and when a man named Simon Peter came to Rome from the province of Judea to spread the teachings of his master, Jesus of Nazareth, Androcles and Lucretia were among the first to receive baptism. During this time, persecution of Christians was common and sanctioned by the state. Androcles and Lucretia living out their faith in secret in order to avoid the horrible fates that befell others they knew. However, someone found out, and on the day they were going for their walk, Roman soldiers stalked them. They kept back, waiting for the perfect time to strike, as to prevent them from fleeing. And while they stalked them, they saw an incredible thing. In a clearing, Androcles and Lucretia came across a large male lion lying down resting. They stopped, each immediately halting their breathing so they wouldn't wake the creature. Slowly, they began retracing their steps, ... until Lucretia's foot came down on a branch, snapping it in half with a loud crack. The lion's eyes shot open, focusing on the couple. Lucretia screamed and ran further into the forest. She would get lost and would not be seen again, while Androcles, paralyzed by fear, watched as the lion rose to his feet and began moving forward. Androcles' attention was drawn to the animal's right paw. He noticed that the poor thing was limping due to a thorn embedded in it. The lion groaned in pain, moving only a few steps before lying back down. Moved by seeing this great creature reduced to this state by such a small thing, Androcles put aside his instinct of self-preservation and approached the lion, talking soothingly to him as he got closer. Reaching him, Androcles bent down, still talking soothingly to the lion, and gently took his paw in his hands. He held his breath as he removed the thorn, expecting at any moment the lion would slash him with the paw, ending his life. But to his surprise, and no doubt the surprise of the soldiers watching the lion, did no such. Instead, he nuzzled against Androcles' face with his own, and then made his way deeper into the forest. Androcles watched him go, thanking God for giving him the opportunity to help the lion and for keeping him alive. Hearing this thanksgiving prayer, the soldiers revealed them. The tailor did not resist, but went quietly with them, taken back to Rome. Along with 10 other professed Christians, Androcles was held in the dungeons underneath the Colosseum, while Claudius, the Emperor of Rome, decided their fate. Here he met Ferrovius, a Roman newly converted to Christianity, and the two men became friends. Ferrovius, as much as he believed in Christ and his teachings, struggled with anger and hatred. He explained that before he was a Christian, he was a professional brawler on the streets of Rome, first doing so out of necessity, needing the money, but over time he came to enjoy the violence, allowing it to become part of his nature. Androcles, to both pass the time and to be a good friend to Ferrovius, worked with him through the months they spent in the cell in order to overcome this weakness, making some progress when news arrived that they were to be killed in the arena. Killed by gladiators. Despite what the Romans expected, however, this did not send the Christians into a panic. Instead, they accepted their fate stoically, contenting themselves in the belief that it was God's will. A few days later, they were tossed into the arena sands where the crowd, thousands strong, cheered and clapped, eager to see bloodshed. Androcles stood beside Ferrovius, preparing himself to be dispatched with a swifter blow. But suddenly his friend went berserk. The violent nature within Ferrovius came out, and he overpowered one of the gladiators closest to them, bashing his face in and stealing his weapon before going on a rampage. In a vicious display of carnage, he tore through the other gladiators, cutting them down, drenching himself in their blood, leaving none alive. Astonished one man could take down so many trained fighters, Claudius, who was in attendance, ordered a lion brought out, believing the beast would be enough to kill the man and his friends. The gate was opened, and the lion strode out. Androcles' mouth dropped. It was the same lion he helped in the forest outside the city. The lion, recognizing Androcles as well, came over to him, the tailor, having to force Ferrovius not to harm the animal as it approached. Androcles stepped forward, petting the lion on his head, the crowd letting out a collective gasp. Like how modern house cats do, the lion rolled onto his back and exposed his belly to Androcles, allowing him to rub it. This stunned the emperor, who stood up and called out to the tailor, asking him how he could do this. Androcles explained to Claudius the story behind he and the lion's friendship, stating he could not let a fellow living being suffer. Moved by this, the emperor called a halt to the executions and declared that all of the Christians to be set free, along with the lion. Androcles was able to keep his friend, and it is said that he returned to his villa with the lionware. The two lived happily together for many years.